There's a type of procrastination that I've been doing a lot lately, and it's probably one of the worst types of procrastination out there because it's somewhat invisible, somewhat hidden, and that is productive procrastination. And what I mean by this is essentially just you're doing things that you feel are productive. Like, for instance, my situation, I end up doing a lot of cleaning. Instead of doing the task that I set out to do for that time slot, during that phase, I do things by blocks, so like morning, afternoon, and night. So sometimes certain blocks are just taken up, mostly morning. Like today, for instance, I just woke up and I wanted to fix something on my backpack really quickly, so I went to go get something. But then when I opened a drawer, I saw how messy it was. So I decided to just clean it up. And that took about 20 to 30 minutes, not too long, but it definitely wasn't part of the plan and was definitely procrastination, I'd say. And in the end, that drawer is now clean and it will probably remain cleaned since I don't open it that often. But I'm just thinking to myself, would it have mattered if I didn't clean it? Would it have mattered if it's just left like that? Because again, I don't open it very often, so I don't think it would have changed too much. And that's sort of like the question I want to ask myself. Is productive procrastination okay sometimes? Because I do feel like for me, another form of it is me selling things I no longer need. So I do get some money back from, like for instance, certain microphones that I bought that I no longer use. I end up selling it for less than how much I bought it for, but I still get that money back, which is good, versus it laying there and not doing anything. So I do think that for that one, it is still considered productive procrastination, but at least it serves some sort of purpose and it gives me value back in terms of monetary value. And it does take time though to take photos of the items, post it online, and try to communicate and meet up with people who want to buy it. So in a way, it still is productive procrastination, but a better form of it. So it's definitely a spectrum. Some of it is like, if I didn't do it, it wouldn't have changed anything. And some of it is, I do get value from it. So it's sort of like, for me, I need to really take a step back before I engage in that productive procrastination. Because I don't think the solution is to like cut it out altogether. Because I do think it serves a purpose and it does help with me cleaning more often and trying to sell things more often, which is good. But at the same time, I shouldn't do it too much to the point where I'm falling behind on work that I consider priority. So the question is like, what determines whether or not I should actually engage in that productive procrastination? And I do think that looking at that spectrum and seeing, asking yourself, would anything change if I engage in it? Like having this drawer cleaned, would it really change that much? If, for instance, the next time I open it is gonna be 2 to 3 months from now, and I literally just put something inside or grab something out of it and put it back in, will it really matter that much? If it's, for instance, your living room or your workspace, that definitely will affect how you actually operate because you engage with it very, very often. So that's different. And you sort of have to ask yourself those questions. Other forms of productive procrastination, I actually feel like for me, it's primarily just cleaning and selling things. It's very weird. Luckily, these days, I don't engage in actual procrastination too often. That would be like playing video games when you're supposed to do work, or watching YouTube videos when you're supposed to do work and stuff like that. Like, luckily for me, I don't do that very often these days, but I still engage in a lot of productive procrastination. So that's something I'm wanted to talk about for this daily reflection. And I'm curious to what you guys consider, like for you, as productive procrastination. I do think it is one of the most, like, not dangerous necessarily, but like the fact that it's hard to spot. Like for instance, am I doing productive procrastination right now? Like my priority should be like me working on music stuff, but I'm still creating these daily YouTube videos because I want to and I feel like good about it. But in that sense, it gives me fulfillment, so it shouldn't be considered procrastination since it is something that I enjoy doing. So it's sort of like a lot of it is up to interpretation. And when there is a lot that is up for interpretation, it becomes kind of confusing. And I think that's the aspect that is most I don't want to use the word dangerous, most like mysterious, most confusing, most like you don't really know how to categorize it, basically. And that makes it interesting and difficult to deal with, basically. Like difficult is probably a better word, just instead of dangerous. Not really dangerous, just difficult. So let me know down below what your productive procrastination activities are. I'm curious. And what your sort of answers are in terms of how you want to deal with them. Because for me, that's essentially what I'm gonna do, is just ask myself that question. Will it change anything significant? If not, then I should just not engage. And perhaps like, I stuttered there. Perhaps another good way to deal with it is to limit it. So for instance, if you've done it in that week, then don't do it again for a full week. I think that's a good one, because I've noticed certain weeks in a row where I just like, I open a drawer or I open a closet, I'm just like, there's so many things in here that I don't need, I should sell it. And then I end up taking up like an hour just to like organize things and clean things. And it's so weird. Eventually though, I'm hoping eventually I'll get to the point where like I am at maximum cleanliness, where I no longer actually need to clean things that I no longer need. I feel like it's possible to get to that point. So that's another way to conquer my form of productive procrastination, is to eventually just like get to the point where there's no longer anything to sell because I use everything. It's sort of heading towards minimalism, I suppose. So that's another way of doing it, but that would take a lot of time, and in a way would be the ultimate form of procrastination if I made that my priority instead of what my priority should be. Okay, and that's enough. I'm gonna try to limit these to actually like I'd say like under 10 minutes would be good, so that I don't end up productively procrastinating and yeah, just gotta get to my music stuff. So the goal for today will just be to get everything into MIDI for my music production. The next song that I'm gonna create, it's more like an orchestral piece, I suppose. But that's gonna be the goal. Just get everything into MIDI, and then yeah, I'll figure it out from there. All right, let me know if you have any daily goals for today, and I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. Peace.